followed by Series 2 Jaguar E-Type behind it, a 1967 Triumph Vitesse convertible. Stunning pre-war Riley here, very rakish looking car. Post-war Alvis, I think this is a Grey Lady. Fiat 124 Spider here, my favourite of the 3 different versions of the GT6. Look at this amazing, immaculate Maestro-based van. Austin K2 lorry, just post-war probably. Fantastic little Mercedes panel van, not quite sure. This is a 4-door Saab 99. Very swish, the Rover 100. Now here's a proper rarity, a Lancia Appia. Ford Model A. And a Di Tommaso Pantera behind that. Citroen ID19. So the 2CV awaits its turn, as does the Berkeley.
I'll see here and there. It's not been, as far as I know.
Well, morning all, welcome to the Old Classic Car channel. Today we are in not quite sunny Worcestershire in the Malvern Hills, the Malvern Three Counties Showground for the Malvern Festival of Transport April 2025 edition. The weather forecast is looking particularly great, so I think we're going to be set there for a fantastic day of classic and vintage cars here on the Old Classic Car channel. So without further ado, I think we'll amble in the general direction of the entrance and capture some of the arrivals as they get here. As always, there'll be a mix of classic cars, vintage cars, and some later enthusiast-owned cars. And as I've said before in many previous videos here at Malvern and elsewhere, we'll try to feature a bit of everything here on the Old Classic Car channel, but we will be prioritising some of the older cars. Still early doors. Most of the cars are yet to arrive, but we're expecting a lot here today. Wartburg zooms past at speed, and here we have a pair of Berkeleys, classic Berkeley action. Fantastic. Followed by another classic Mini here. There's a super, very original looking Morris Minor Traveller. Somewhat modified Anglia 105E. And next, rolling into the Malvern Showground, is this Austin badge version of the good old Morris Minor van. What a bobby dazzler that is on a K plate, so quite a late one in a livery of Castrol no less. And that is followed by a 1967 Triumph Vitesse convertible. Wartime Jeeps rolling in over there. Cars are starting to arrive now in reasonable numbers. Classic Land Rover here. My youthful assistant has joined me today, so he'll be doing a video for his car traction channel. And following the Landy, we have a pair of classic Lotuses, or Lotuses. Yeah, pretty cool. Built down at Hethel in Norfolk. Brainchild of Colin Chapman. The Spree S2. And here we have the Wartime Jeeps. This one with the cutting blade on the front. to cut through barbed wire.
Turn left, sorry, follow the car there.
The sun is starting to make an appearance now. A lovely Austin Mini Cooper S behind that, 1965. Apologies for the shadows, the sun is still quite low in the sky. Behind the Mini, a lovely 1966 split window VW camper van. Peugeot 205 in yellow, followed by Series 2 Jaguar E-Type behind it in a slightly lighter shade of yellow, and I can see a yellow Rover P6 in the background as well. So hopefully lots of our favourite colour here today at Malvern. In goes the 205, there's a little mini pickup just nipping over there. Here is the Series 2 E-Type Roadster. So that'll have the 4.2 straight 6 engine under that long swooping bonnet.
And if you're charging them on the day, it's per person. It's only that advance ticket. Alright.
66 Porsche with its bonnet open. I have an XK 140 fixed head coupe here, burbling away merrily to itself. Lovely looking car. This was an evolution of the original XK 120, bigger bumpers, slightly different grille, slightly different body styling, but very, very similar to the previous 120. Beautiful car, and that sounds fantastic. Behind that we have a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit, but yeah, what a beauty that is. I like that a lot. There's wafting in the big Rolls-Royce V8 engine, followed by Jaguar there, Jaguar there, bay window VW camper over here, and a not so classic ice cream van behind that. So we have a VW Golf driver here, and then the gaggle of minis which assembled over there are starting to pour in together, presumably on the same club stand, headed by this about 1970 Mini estate here. Very nice too, the little Woody. Mini Cooper here. What a great backdrop, the Malvern Hills in the background there. What a fantastic location for a classic car show. The weather is starting to warm up. It was quite breezy when we got here a little earlier, but it's not so bad now. Great little Mini 95 pickup there. Mini Wolseley Hornet behind that, which of course is a derivative of the classic Mini. There's one of the aluminium bodied XJs, the X350 series. And one of Malvern's finest, of course, the Morgan, built just down the road. And this very shiny little Mini here is the Mini 30. This was introduced in 1989 as a celebration of 30 years of the classic Mini. These were available in this maroon colour and also black, if I remember right. I do have the brochures around somewhere for it. Behind that, a 1964 Land Rover Series 2A. The 1966 Jaguar Mark II there, beautiful example in dark green. Here we have a kit car. I think it's based on the BMW Z3, I think. Echoing the styling of maybe Aston Martin of the 1950s. Behind that, over here we have a Rover 3500S, so manual gearbox V8 engine in that P6 there, looking pretty nice on the small white walls, the thin white wall tyres. And behind that, a Triumph 2000 or 2.5 Mark II Saloon. Mini saloon and a lovely minivan behind that.
That's nice, look, Riley. Daimler 250 V8.
There's a Daimler
Riley
250 V8 in maroon.
4-seater Tourer. Very nice.
And what do we have there? Pre-war Riley, I believe. Stunning pre-war Riley here on its original registration number WJ5938. Talking of lovely Rileys, behind it is a Riley RM Saloon, one of the 1.5 litre cars, I'm guessing RMA. Very stylish car indeed. Looks almost pre-war, but it is post-war, just about. Great looking car. Sunbeam Rapier, I believe, behind that. Although they did do an Alpine version as well of the fastback design. Yeah, it is a Rapier. Very rakish looking car. That's a very cool looking car. Followed by a Ford Cortina Mark II, the 1600E, I believe. Going off the metallic paint anyway. That is followed by a Jaguar E-Type Series 3. So that's the V12 powered Roadster, all aluminium, 5.3 litre V12 engine in that one. Manual gearbox too. Here we have a lovely little Wolseley. Now is it a 444 or is it the B series powered Wolseley 450? I think it's the latter. Just trying to read the badge on the front just below the bonnet, but I think it could be the 450, which is actually quite a rare car. Nice to see it on its original registration number as well, VLN65. There's all sorts of cars pouring in now. Yeah, this is a 1550, that one. The 450 was another car again. Another Morris. This one with a Morris badge on the bonnet, but with the Austin grille. That is followed by a magnificent post-war Alvis. I think this is a Grey Lady because it has the extra intakes on the top of the bonnet and also is on wire wheels. Yes, it is a Grey Lady. A drop-head coupe version of the Grey Lady as well, so that is a proper rarity. I do like that. And here we have good old MGB GT, this one on an L plate. Followed by an R129 series Mercedes-Benz SL. The Saint has arrived, the Volvo P1800S.
Still connecting rolling in. The pole position is the Volvo P1800.
The BMW 5 Series, one of the E34, the facelifted E34 with a slightly different grille. Used to have an estate version of one of those in the same dark green metallic. You just see an Austin Maxi over there as well. So yeah, a real variety of classic and modern classic cars here today in Malvern.
Marcus or it looks good like this thing.
A Porsche 944, followed by the Maxi that I caught a glimpse of just a moment ago. A classic bit of BL history there from the late 1970s, I'm guessing that one. So quite a distinctive mascot on this one. Someone's a fan of equine activity. Fiat 124 Spider here, followed by 1966 Morris Minor 1000. What is this? A Piper. Now the Piper was a creation of David Piper. Whether this is an original car or a recreation, I'm not quite sure. I love the registration number on it, 3 low, and it is very, very low indeed. Almost looks lower than a GT40. That's quite something. And a very bonny little Morris 8 Series E Tourer. Original headlights on it, nice to see. Original registration number, also good to see that. A little 4-seat Tourer, 918cc, side valve engine. Very bonny little car, quite rare now too. Yeah, perfect for a day like this. Defender, bay window VW camper over here. We'll just walk towards the entrance, I think. There's a DS, somewhat modified Chevy 3100. Kicking up the dust. Yeah, and there is the DS. So an incredible Citroen DS, or is it an ID19? I can never tell them apart, but it's got the exposed single headlights. Is this DS or ID?
ID.
ID, it is ID. ID19, yes. Fantastic. On a C-Reg, a 1965. We like a bit of that. That's very nice. And a Citroen Visa, there's a rare sight. A Visa, what's that? Tonic, GT Tonic. That's a pretty groovy looking car. I don't remember ever seeing one of those before. Behind that, a great little ripple-bonnet 2CV. Great to see so many cars that we don't tend to see at the events closer to home. That's one of the reasons why we head down to these more distant shows. Another classic Alvis there, post-war Alvis. And behind the Jaguar we have a Renault 5 Turbo. Very cool car indeed. Built with Group B rallying in mind. The original Renault 5 Turbo. Behind that, a Trabant. There is the Trabby. A little two-stroke engine, tinking away. Mark 1 Austin Mini. Is it a 7? It is. It's an Austin 7. And here, another Series 2 version of the Jaguar E-Type Roadster. Mini behind that, little Cooper. Very sporty looking motorcycle. What is it? MGB GT V8. Nice to see Series 2 XJ in that fairly rare now shade of brown. Proper plate, and like to see a proper number plate on it. A lot of people retrofit silver and black plates onto anything that qualifies for historic road tax, but it doesn't really look right in my opinion. But that on the proper separate letters on reflective plates just looks perfect. Very nice indeed, great example. We have a Ford Puma. And behind that, a nice early example, a 1964 Morris 1100 no less. The old ADO 16, a 4-door example. And here's a regular at many of the shows we get to, a super little Hillman Husky estate based on the contemporary Minx. Triumph GT6 Mark II is next. My favourite of the 3 different versions of the GT6, so still keeps much of the original styling of the Mark I, but with a Rotaflex rear suspension. Morning. Yeah, lovely looking car, that. Often described as the baby E-Type. A classic Range Rover, a diesel powered classic Rangey. Just pulling in now. Super Mini there, followed by a Metro, or was it? Yes, it's a Metro, not yet the Rover 100. Look at this amazing, immaculate Maestro based van with Austin Rover livery down the side. What a great survivor. Behind that, Saab 99 GL with turbo Inca alloy wheels. Behind that, another classic Swede, the Volvo 240 Saloon, 240 GL to be precise. So 2 classic Swedes here, the rear wheel drive Volvo, the front wheel drive Saab 99 here in 2-door form. You could also get a 4-door. This is quite a late one on the V plate, because by then the 900 had gone on sale. Yeah. Nice to see a good one of those preserved. Hotly pursuing the Maestro van in front. Let's amble back in the general direction of the entrance. Escort there of the 1990s, Series 1 Land Rover here. Mercedes-Benz SLK. Another classic Mini. No shortage of great Minis here today. Here's another one behind it, and behind that, a Porsche. Something nice and early coming in now. What do we have here? A Woody, based on a Lee Francis 14, I believe. That's a rarity. What a fantastic thing that is. Proper coach-built shooting brake. Couple of rapid downshifts in the gearbox of this Austin K2 lorry, just post-war probably. Yeah, fantastic, lovely petrol engine in those. What a beauty that is, I like that. TR4A, or TR5 rather. Yeah, it is a 4A. Ford RS2000, followed by another Mark II Triumph Saloon. This is a 2.5 fuel injected. I say saloon, but I correct myself because it is the super rare estate, followed by a Mark I Saloon. More classic Land Rover action here coming in. From the left there is a TVR, but this is a 1966 Series 2A Land Rover, enjoying the sunshine on this beautiful sunny Sunday morning. Metro Vandenplast. So that's the upmarket high-spec version of the original Mini Metro. Morris 1000 Traveller behind that. X300, one of the 6-cylinder XJ saloons there. And here's something fruity behind me. 3-litre Capri, I think. A Volvo PV544 Sport. Ooh, happy memories of owning a couple of Volvo PVs in the past. The first was very similar to this, and then we had one of the earlier 444s. But these are great. These are all left-hand drive. These were never sold here in the UK. But that is great to see that. That's such a cool car. Very popular in historic rallying, styled around or based upon like a 1940s Ford, I believe. Hence the very curvy styling. But what a great looking car that is. Very, very cool. Very similar running gear to the Amazons. Next into the showground, classic MGB GT. I think this may be the TVR Chimera that I saw driving past before. And a wonderful Mercedes saloon there. Very nice, 6.3, wow. That is a stunning car. Wow, mighty Cadillac. Now here's a super little vehicle. I think we have seen this one before somewhere, from 1967. Fantastic little Mercedes panel van. What a little cracker that is. Cobra replica behind that. Yeah, we don't want the cars backing up onto the road. But yeah, that van is just super straight. What a cracking thing that is. Harley will be happy. He's been making noises and looking at adverts for XK8s of late, which is quite concerning. Quite a swish car. Behind that, a Talbot Samba. Oh heck. MGB GT. Sounds like it's got a V8 in that one. Yeah, you don't see too many of these Sambas around now. Just keep moving all the time, try and get different shots as much as possible. Right. Off goes that Triumph Estate. I wonder where he's going. Maybe off to buy a pint of milk. A Bedford CA camper van. Excellent. Followed by MGB GT, one of the limited edition models. A great Triumph Vitesse saloon there, 1966, a Vitesse 6. So that's got the 1600 version of the engine. Little A35 bombs in. Ford Cortina Mark II is followed by another classic Ford Escort Mark II, a four-door Escort saloon. Again, some members of the public coming in now. Talbot camper. Mini. Rangy over there. Escort behind that. Yep, just keep moving on. Very appropriate registration on the Escort, but look at that, a Jaguar S-Type, 1965 S-Type. So that could be a 3.4 or it could be a 3.8. 3.8S or the 3.4S as they were originally sold. So let's have a look at this S-Type. It is a 3.8S, very nice. Look at those original plates on the back, we like a bit of that, but lovely straight six burble, super straight black bodywork on this one as well. Very nice. So this was like an evolution of the Mark II with a longer tail, different fronts, everything is different really. The main difference is under the skin, these have independent rear suspension. There's a bonny little Mini, and behind that another classic Morris 8. Let's try and get the sun behind me this time. A Morris 8 Series 1, a four-door Morris 8 Series 1 saloon. So what year would that be? About 34 or 35. The Series 2 came along afterwards, looked very similar. They had a painted radiator surround and also the solid wheels as opposed to the spoked wheels of these, the Series 1 cars. These look nicer in my opinion, with a little chrome radiator surround. Very smart little car indeed. Again, 918cc, a little four-cylinder side valve engine under that bonnet, centre hinge bonnet. Cars are moving, so we'll keep out of the way. Don't want to lose my toes. And we've got an MG Metro from about 1985. A big doggy in the back. A Spridget here, looks like a race prepared midget. Mini. And here we have a very fine MG. So that's a TC. TC? It is a TC, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, I thought so. The earlier cars have 3 strips on the running boards. But the TC with a slightly wider body has just the 2. MGB GT over there, followed by Alfa Romeo Spider. One of the later MGTFs. We'll make that 2, 3, 4. And here, a magnificent Triumph Roadster. So these were a contemporary of the big old Triumph renowned saloons. Amazing car, super long fronts, quite a small cabin, and an extra row of seats in the back. The original dicky seat in the back. We'll have a proper look at all these cars a little bit later. We'll have a walk around and try and feature as many of them as we can. XK there, one of the later XKs. What is this? A Chrysler Imperial? By gum, I have to step back a bit for this one. What an incredible looking car that is. Proper 70s land yacht. Amazing car, big V8 whispering away under that several acres of bonnet. What an incredible car. And the headlights behind those rotating panels on the front there. Yeah, what an incredible car. 2 doors. They must have some strong door hinges to keep those doors up. Amazing car. And there it is. Is that the same one again? So a pint of milk acquired perhaps. And then there is something much, much older just coming in over there. Now what is that? Is it a Citroen perhaps? Or could be, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, what a great setting with the Malvern Hills in the background. We've got a 900 turbo there, quite a late example of the classic 900 turbo, the Saab. Little Austin Healey Sprite here, very similar to the Midget of course. And indeed, there's another Austin Healey Sprite behind that. Very similar pair of cars there. Trying to form 2 queues of cars coming in just to prevent any tailbacks on the road, but yeah. Ford Fiesta Mark 1 there, a very distinctive 2-tone colour scheme. Alloy wheels as well, I think that's a gear edition, so quite a rarity that one. MX-5 behind that, a Mark 3. I spy another classic Saab 99. That's a nice one, metallic green. That colour was also available on the early 900s. So this is a 4-door Saab 99. I saw a 2-door a little while ago, the red one. Good to see some of these more obscure Swedish cars being preserved. There's MGB Roadster behind that. Now, is that a Wolseley Hornet or is it a Riley Elf? From here, I can't quite see. Behind that, Escort RS 2000. Wolseley Hornet it is. So there's a Series 2 Morris Minor just behind the Audi R8. There we go. Split windscreen. I spy a classic Saab 900 convertible. Behind that, a stately Rover P4, real quality car, introduced in the 1950s, produced well into the 1960s. There is that beautiful Rover P4. Very swish, the Rover 100. Followed by another wonderful Citroen DS. Full length sunroof open, and a Ford Puma here. Very neat car. Cavalier Coupe. Very similar shape to the Manta, and behind that's another Mark III Mazda MX-5. BMW Z3, that's another car that Harley's been making a few noises about lately. Convenient chair. 4 of Triumph's best cylinders here. Have Herald there with the open top roof conversion. Super little Fiat. The Triumph TR6 on wire wheels, looking particularly nice. Maybe we'll see the roof down a bit later. A rotary engine Mazda RX-8. And that is followed by a V8 XJ. We like a bit of that. And staying with the later Jaguar theme, we have one of the later Jaguar S types. It's probably a 3-litre V6, I imagine this one. Lotus XL. Here's a 5-cylinder Audi Quattro. Yeah, another Alvis Grey Lady. Fantastic. I remember having a chat to the owner of that one a year or two back. Probably here, I think. A little Reliant SST, the Sabre. Yeah. So that was an evolution of the original SS1 fiberglass bodied sports car. It's a Hillman Avenger pulling in over there. Nice early one. And here's a proper rarity, a Lancia Appia. Little V4 powered car. Fantastic. What a little sweetie pie that is. Rear hinge doors. I don't think these are the ones that don't have the centre pillar. Oh, yeah. That's a proper rare little car, that one. Great to see that. Left-hand drive. More classic Range Rover goodness, this time with the 3.5 litre V8 engine under its bonnet. And parked just over in the background there, the VW Scirocco. And still they come. Super little MG Tourer here. What a beauty that is. That is very swish indeed. Followed by a Triumph 2000 Mark II, a Staffordshire registered EH, that's a Staffordshire registration series. Again, apologies for the shadows. Lots of shadows, but no Hank Marvin. A very rare Vauxhall here. Might have to double check which model this one is. Morning. So which model is this one? The Viceroy, that's the one. 10 left on the road. A Vauxhall Viceroy, wow. It's a 2.5 litre. Yeah. Rare sight here today at the Malvern Festival of Transport. The Scirocco is starting to join the queue. And a classic Mini here. Bay window VW over here. Look at this super little mini police car. Isn't that bonny? Very nice on a V plate. Very cool. Morning, yeah.
How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Oh, it's great to see this.
Classic.
Old classic car. Yeah. Yeah, but nice. I like the model on the dash. I won't hold you up. Cheers. Yeah, we'll have a proper look around all these cars a little bit later. A little air cool Citroen powered kit car there, I think. I'm not quite sure what. And a super little Lotus Elan over here. Elan S4 on an H plate, so about 1970. Yeah, what a beauty that is. .205, followed by Citroen Saxo. And pretty smart looking Bentley behind that. Porsche 924, about 1984. Another wonderful classic Triumph here, the Triumph TR3. An evolution of the original TR2. I'll be definitely having a closer look at this early cars parking area. There's that incredible Lee Francis Woody on the end of the row there. What a Bobby Dazzler that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we have a Ford Model A. Late 1920s or the beginning of the 1930s possibly. So that'll have, these were sold as standard with a 3.3 litre 4-cylinder side-valve engine. Although I think there was a version available for the UK market with a sleeved engine, smaller capacity, which just reduced the tax bill a little bit. Either way, lovely car. Jaguar Mark II. Followed by XK120, the Roadster version. What a beauty that is in black. And there's a rarity, an early 1980s Ford Sierra. about 1984-ish. I bet quite a few of you watching this video have owned a Sierra. A magnificent 6-cylinder Austin behind that, of the mid to late 1930s. Still on spoked wheels, so I'm guessing about 33 or 34 actually on that one, maybe 35. Beautiful straight six. And look at that, a convertible version of the Vauxhall Cavalier. Yeah, we'll have a proper walk around here afterwards, admire the many classic cars that are now parked up here at the Three Counties Showground, including this Rover P6 here, Minis, MGB, VWs, bit of everything. There's my youthful assistant in full flow, Volvo, Maxi, Fiat, there's that Trabant, apparently it's ex-military, this incredible machine, but we'll have a proper look around afterwards once all the cars are here on the field. But yeah, cars are loosely grouped by age, the oldest being over there, and that is probably where we will start our journey around the showground a little later this morning. There's that great little minivan. But this Avenger was already here when we got here, I think. Incredible Beetle here, an MGB with Webasto roof. Next arrival is this Lotus Esprit. Great registration number on this one, private plate. Two MGB Roadsters. Behind the rubber bumper car we have this super little Sunbeam Rapier. What a great car that is. So much competition history in rallying, Monte Carlo rally, etc. in the late 1950s with these. Very common to see these competing. What a beauty that is. Very, very swish example. I love the wraparound screen on this era of route group car. And those full width wheel trims as well. Very sharp looking car, two-tone paint. Yeah, we'll have a proper look at that one later. So that's Rover 100 is a Kensington limited edition. So this was kind of the ultimate evolution, I suppose, of the original Mini Metro of the early 1980s. This is a 1966 Series 1.5 Jaguar E-Type. So this probably has the 4.2 in it. It's a 2+2, so higher roofline compared to your regular fixed head coupe, slightly longer as well, in order to accommodate a couple of small seats in the back. Got Alpha here, a little Spider. Another wonderful Triumph Roadster, DRJ 449. Very swish and perfect car for a day like this. Some incredible cars, lots of people here now. There'll be many more before the day is through. Very nice too. Very stylish car. MGB GT with the recessed grille. Looks like this one has been on TV. This Bond bug up for sale. Bought in 2019 off the programme Find It, Fix It, Flog It with Henry Cole. Stored in the barn for over 20 years. And I've spent 5 years doing it up. Yours for £12,000. So, yeah, famous TV car there. I hear the distinctive whine of the Moss gearbox fitted to this Jaguar Mark 1 saloon. So this could be a 2.4 or a 3.4. What a beauty that is. Predecessor to the Mark 2. Little smart car there, little smart roadster. A second, I think, Z3 that we've seen today. This one a very smart metallic blue. Really do suit these cars. About 1998, that one. Good to see quite a few early cars here today as well. Another pre-war Morris here, Morris Series 1. It's a little two-door saloon. Ford Anglia Super, the 123E from 1966. Series 1 Land Rover, followed by Triumph TR3A. So slightly wider grille compared to the TR3 we saw before, and outside door handles. That was another thing that was introduced on the 3A. 1966, so quite an early one, Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 1. Beautiful Riley. And the Di Tommaso Pantera behind that. Daimler SP250, fiberglass body, 2.5 litre V8 engine. The Mini Clubman here. The auto jumble seems popular today, indoors and outdoors. Jaguar Saloon, one of the X300s. 6-cylinder car. Lovely air-cooled 911. VW Polo behind that. And another wonderful old Porsche.
Fantastic, thanks very much.
Toyota MR2 Mark 1 follows the Triumph TR6. And here, an MGA Roadster looking beautiful on those mini-light alloy wheels. What a sharp looking car that is. Quite a late one with a recessed grille. Diesel power in this rangy. And a Disco 1 behind that. I can just see Ford Fiesta XR2 Mark 1, there we go. Get a proper look at it now. Rare cars. A sporty Fiesta. Originally designed, the codename Project Bobcat, I believe, in the Ford Design Studios when they were being designed in the 1970s. I think this is an RS2000, one of the later series of cars based on the Ford Escort Mark 5. Or it could be an XR3i, but we'll go with RS2000, I think. No, it was XR3i. Can't win them all. Magnificent pre-war Rolls-Royce, I'm guessing a 20. GX3826 is the registration number. A very regal way to arrive here at the Malvern Festival of Transport and Autojumble. Beautiful car. Ford Escort Mark 1 behind that. Which model are we looking at here? Twin cam. Oh, that's a desirable bit of kit. It sounds pretty spectacular. There's a Vauxhall Nova saloon over there parking up. About 1986-ish. Don't see too many of those around. That one looks very original. And there's the little Hillman Husky. I hear the purr of a Chrysler V8 under the bonnet of that Jensen Interceptor. What a swish looking car that is, I do love those. Behind the MGB Roadster, another of Malvern's finest. Beautiful Jaguar Mark II over there on chrome wires.
Yeah, just put in that gateway and stick.
Hopefully coming our way, yeah. 3 engines were available in these, 2.4, 3.4 or the 3.8. Manual and auto versions were on offer. So this was the evolution of the Mark I saloon that we saw pulling in just a little while back. Yeah, what a stunning car that is. And here is the Morgan. Interesting little mini base kit car there with gull wing doors. XKR convertible. Another classic 90s Jaguar XJ over there. Appears to be parking up in the public parking area. Here we have a Triumph Acclaim. Last car to bear the Triumph badge. Honda base car. Well, Spitty there, Spitfire Mark IV. Mighty S-Class Mercedes of the 1970s, late 70s, that one on the T-plate. And still they come in. Here's that super impressive S-Class Mercedes. I do like these. Triumph Vitesse 1964. Second Bentley Continental of the day. To see one Triumph Acclaim is pretty unusual. Another one here. This one in like a metallic bronzy type colour. Ford 100E 2-door. This one is an Anglia. The 2-door Anglia was sold alongside the 4-door Ford Prefect. An air-cooled 911 of the late 1980s, or rather early 1980s behind that. Another Morgan, built just up the road, just over that away, the other side of Great Malvern itself. Very nice too. Behind that, a Toyota Supra with big wing on back. Behind the MX-5 is a Chrysler Crossfire, which was based on an early Mercedes-Benz SLK. Another R129 series Mercedes-Benz SL. No, I'm not too well up on the older Japanese car. Is that a Toyota Carina? I'm putting my neck out a bit here, but I think it might be a Carina. So which 1980s Toyota is this? You don't see too many of those around. It is a Carina, Carina 2. Good old Morris Minor. Always good to see a few of those here. Toyota MR2 Mark II. Time for another old pickup. This is a Ford Ranger, I believe. I'm staying with the Ford theme behind that. We have a Ford Granada Mark 1 or possibly a Consul Granada. Let's go and have a closer look. Let's go and check out the badging on the back. Yeah, nice car, lovely. A GXL, it's one of the upmarket ones with a V6. Carefully wend my way around the back. Yeah, Granada GXL. Early 1970s on an L plate, so about 72 or 73. Complete with the aftermarket Goodman speakers on the rear parcel shelf. Who else remembers fitting your own speakers to the parcel shelf on cars just like this in the 70s and the 1980s? Behind that, one of several modern classic Volvo estates to be here today at Malvern. Little Caterham 7, followed by Lotus. Porsche 911 Carrera. And a bit of classic Japanese bike action. That huge water-cooled Suzuki GT 750 and a Kawasaki KZ 750 alongside that. Very nice. Oh, look at this. It's been a while since I last saw one of these. An Opel GT from 1971. What a great looking little car. That is fantastic little coupe. Left-hand drive. I'm not even sure. Were these actually ever sold here? A bit like a mini Corvette to look at. But very, very stylish. Yeah, that's a super looking little car, that is. The Escort two-door behind that. A Range Rover behind that. Another wonderful Rover purring into view. Another S-Type Jaguar, very swish looking car, and another Sprigget behind that from the early 1970s. We have a 1967 Ford Mustang here. I think now will probably be a good time to have a look around some of the cars that are parked up, and we'll begin with this section A for pre-1960s cars. I was just having a quick chat to the owner of this lovely 1936 Morris 8 Series 1. He's a follower of the Old Classic Car channel, so big thanks for that, big shout out to you. That's really, really appreciated. Don't forget, if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, leave a comment, let me know what your favourite car is from all the cars from all the eras at this particular classic car show. This one looks like it did the 2018 London to Brighton run. So 918cc, a little Cyval 4-cylinder engine in this beauty, still has its original registration number, so I approve of that. Yeah, what a beauty. That is a 4-door saloon. You could get 2-door saloons, Taurus, and even a few vans. But this is the 4-door saloon version, and very, very nice. It is too. Not sure where my youthful assistant is. He's probably in the middle of the field somewhere. Got a somewhat modified Ford Model Y here with a huge V8 shoehorned under its bonnet and a very, very sparkly paint. But my eye is drawn to this pair of Berkeleys over here. Wonderful. So we've got a four-wheel Berkeley here alongside a 3-wheel Berkeley over here. Great little cars, fiberglass body, for sale, Berkeley T60. There you go. I know at least one car for sale that I featured on a video a little while ago did lead to actually selling. So if you want a Berkeley, there you go. But yeah, a little Little twin cylinder engine in there. Very different installation in this one. Amal carburettor, motorcycle based running gear in these. There we go. Fun little car. They did sound neat when they came in, these two, before. What a perfect day for a classic car show. The wind has died down as well. The wind was a bit chilly when we got here this morning, early doors. And a pair of wartime Jeeps here. I don't want to get on the wrong side of the driver of this particular example. Yeah, I'm not sure what the official name for this thing on the front is, but it's for chopping through barbed wire while traversing the countryside. So, yeah, lots and lots of great period wartime accessories on these two Jeeps. Very, very cool indeed. Very popular little vehicles. These you can buy pretty much anything for them, even complete new body tubs. But I would imagine any examples still with their original body tubs, whether Willis or Ford built, would I imagine have a slight premium over a fully rebodied example. And next to that, by complete contrast, is a super shiny XK140. What a beauty. Wonderful looking car that is, the XK140 fixed head coupe, complete with Goodwood Road Racing Club member badge on the front there, and JDC, the Jaguar Drivers Club as well. I love the little J in the centre of the headlights.
You're scared of the ghost train? Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah, certainly gets around a bit, this one. Automobile Club de l'Ouest, that's the organising body behind the famous Le Mans 24 Hours. Classic Jaguar Association, JDC, South Staffordshire. So not a million miles away from where we're based. Very, very swish looking car indeed. And next to that we have a Riley 9 Tourer. Is this a special? Is it a factory built car? I'm not quite sure. There's a bit of info in the screen, so that'll get me out of trouble. Let's have a quick look at this. 1933 Riley 9 March Special. Alright, so March, that's linked to Goodwood. The March Special, Freddie March, the 9th Duke of Richmond. Yeah. Very nice too. Yeah, that is a real beauty. That is great to see lots of pre-war cars here today. Yeah, we see all these two Rileys coming in together a little earlier. Here is the RM Saloon. This is a 1.5 litre saloon. The only real giveaway between the two is the colour of the badge. If you see one with a pale blue background, that tells you it has the 2.5 litre engine. This car is the 1.5, and we've got a Wolseley 1550 here. So this, like I was saying before when we saw it arriving, this was a development of the Wolseley 444, but with the BMC B Series engine as opposed to the XPAW single carb engine that was fitted to the Wolseley 444. And one of these was definitely on the short list when we were thinking about buying a 50s car a year or two back. So I thought the early styling of a 444, but with the ease of parts availability of the 1550 and the B Series engine, that struck me as being a very, very good idea indeed, and it may yet happen one day, who knows. Yeah, very handsome car, Gerald Palmer design, very sleek, very similar styling to the contemporary MG Magnets, the ZA and ZB. This one looks pretty original, nice original car, original paint by the looks of it, original interior as well, so I like a bit of that. And this is an Alvis Grey Lady drop head coupe. Grey Lady, these are the slightly sportier versions with the wire wheels and the little intakes on top of the bonnet. And if you're not entirely sure, this one even has Grey Lady badging on it. But yeah, Alvis, lovely quality British car. That Chevy panel van is just running up, but this one is for sale. 1954 Tickford convertible. There we go. One of 100 convertibles made by coach builder Tickford. 3 litre Alvis base, 6-cylinder engine and chassis. with current MOT. And there goes the oh so subtle Chevrolet on air suspension. I like the badge on the front, I do like that. It's a lovely old enamel badge. Very, very swish indeed. Here's a little Morris 8 Series E rather, Tourer. A little 4-seat Series E with the original headlights still. It's not had the conversion which so many of them have had to the larger 7-inch Lucas lamps. So there's a little 4-cylinder engine down there. Electric SU pump over there. Everything you need and nothing you don't. Very bonny little car indeed. And we carry on down here and we have a ripple-bonnet Citroen 2CV. And if you watch the channel you'll have seen the video that I put live just a few days ago featuring home movie footage from 1991 when a friend of mine went to trawling around South France, driving around, seeing if he could find an original 2CV to bring back to the UK. Unfortunately he was successful in his mission. That was a fun little video to put together. Check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. Nice little story. And this is a beautifully restored example. Really very, very nice. Roof folded back. And here we have little Alvis, the TA14. So this will be sort of beginning of the 1950s, I would imagine. Could be late 40s, but again, a real quality car. Rear hinged front doors. So a quick peer in through the window. Can we see in there? Just about. Yeah, nice. Very nice saloon lines on these cars. Spare wheel hidden under that cover on the back panel. A lovely car. This Hillman Husky, the Estates. This pops up at many of the classic car shows that we get to, and if you've been following the channel for any length of time you will have seen this car no doubt numerous times. It pops up at Weston Park. That's where we often see this particular car, and we have seen it here at Malvern before now, and it's always a treat to see it still ploughing on. And on the end of the row here is that lovely Ford Model A coupe that we saw driving in a little while ago, left-hand drive. And if I get back into proper vintage cars at some point, one of these is a definite possibility. In terms of vintage cars, these are one of the easier cars to take on. Spares availability is really good, even here in the UK. They drive pretty well with that lusty 4-cylinder engine, very torquey, very popular in VSCC events, trials, that kind of thing. Simple as you like, about the simplest car you could possibly imagine in terms of mechanics and running gear. The fuel tank is built in to the scuttle here, and it just has a gravity feed, so no fuel pump, no electric fuel pumps or vacuum fuel pump assemblies. It's purely vacuum on these, gravity rather. And these two-door coupes, especially ones that haven't been hot rodded, are just great. I think great looking car. I do like that a lot. Right, let's carry on to row 2. One of the trickier aspects of doing these videos is when your battery runs out. And I've just walked down this entire row and the battery cut out as I got to the end here and none of it saved. So we'll have another quick look up here, starting with this Lee Francis 14 based Woody. What a rarity this is. We'll be concentrating mainly on the rarer cars in this particular video, the rarer older cars, and this incredible old Lee Francis definitely qualifies on that score. KAD 413 is the registration number of this incredible Woody or shooting brake estate, complete with rear doors. I like that. And I'm guessing that's a one-off. I wonder what the story is with this. Did it start out as a saloon, or has it been like this from new, I wonder? Lee Francis, a very famous Coventry-based car manufacturer. So, yeah, lovely car. Series 1 Morris 8 4-door saloon over here. MGTC. Looks like a very original car. Like I say, we're going to have to record this again because the battery ran out. There, a little doggy. Triumph Roadster here. Oh, we've got a bit of history. In 1949, Triumph Roadster 2000 TRA, £990 new. Pause the video if you want to read the history on this particular car. 2088cc engine under that long swooping bonnet. Quite cosy inside, not a great deal of space in these. Passengers, the rear seating is back here, out in all weathers, but you do have your own lift-up screen if you're in the back of the car. Morris Minor, Series 2. This is the Series 2, was still with a split screen, but by this point in time they had adopted the A-Series engine instead of the little side valve unit lifted from the Series E. Original registration number as well, that's good. Lovely comfy old Rover 100, the P4 series car. Lovely, wonderful, comfortable place to be. Now I was pondering what this particular car is when it came in a little while earlier today, and it is in fact a Delahaye. Really unusual to see one of these here in the UK. I mean, there can't be that many in France, I would have thought. Very bonny little car. Bit of info on the screens, that's good. We always like a bit of that. 1928 Delahaye 109, built by Chenard et Walker of France. 11.8 RAC horsepower rating, believed to be the only one of its type in England. That probably explains why I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at when it came in. Yeah, very comfy place to be. If it's anything like our old Dodge that we used to have, the 24 Dodge, it's quite drafty if you're bowling along. The people sat in the front, well, they have the protection of the screen. Unless you've got some extra sort of clip-in screens. You used to be able to get Auster screens, AUSTER screens for rear seat passengers in cars like this, because if you sit in the back here, the wind sort of funnels around the side of the windscreen, and it can be quite a blowy ride sitting in the back of a 4-seat Tourer like this. And it's great to see that here today. There's the Alvis Grey Lady, the sporting saloon of the early 1950s. I think these will crack 100 miles an hour when they were new. Yeah, lovely looking car. Like I say, the wire wheels and the extra intakes, these are signs of the Grey Lady model. Got a 2-door classic Range Rover here. Like I say, we'll try and feature a little bit of everything. A magnificent pre-war MG here. I'm not quite sure what model of MG this is. Very long bonnet. I wonder if it's a 6-cylinder car. But it is lovely. Drop head coupe with a little pram irons on the back here which fold down as the roof folds down. So lovely quality little car there. And this is a Triumph TR3. An old British sports car of the 1950s. (1956) Triumph TR3 to be precise. There's a bit of history. Just pause the video if you want to have a bit of a read up on this particular car. But it's in lovely condition. Everything's a bit dusty today because it's quite dry. The weather's been really dry lately, so most of the cars on display are a little bit dusty. Oh, beauty that is. Jaguar Mark II here. What size engine is this one? This has got 3.8 in it, built 1964. And talking of Jaguar, we have this magnificent XK120 Roadster alongside. Looks to be a very, very original car, and I think it's fairly well travelled, this one. It's a left hooker, so it's an import. I do love those old lap belts as well. They are very neat. I like a bit of that. So I think it's a steel-bodied car, this one. Nice badge on the front. What's this? The British Automobile Touring Association of Nova Scotia. So this is a well-travelled car. What's this little sticker in the screen here? Voiture antique and classique of Montreal. Yeah, definitely well travelled, and look at those lovely old side screens. Just seen a wartime Dodge driving in. Let's carry on along here. Another Triumph Roadster. And again, we can see the rear seat arrangements. This is from 1949, the last production car with a dicky seat. And there we go. There's the rear seating arrangements and screen. It's in beautiful condition. Look at that dash, proper wood dash. And, quite cosy. Very, very stylish car. Lots of curves on this one. And there's the little step to enable you to clamber in to the rear seating compartment. And I just had to have a look at this lovely old radio. Let me lean in here. An Echo radio. I do love that kind of detail in cars of this age. Proper old accessories. Yeah, we definitely like a bit of that. Oh, what a beauty. And this is that early TR that we saw coming in. This is a 3A. Yep, so you've got the wider grille, outside door handles. It looks to be finished in red primer, red oxide primer. A bit of a work in progress perhaps. It's on a later registration as well. Bit of fun. And there's that wonderful Riley. I've got a feeling I had a chat with the owner of this Riley at a previous Malvern Festival of Transport. And next to that, the Austin 6. Let's just turn around, just in case the sun is getting into the camera too much. So that is an Austin York. And what year is it? I was sort of speculating mid 30s, 34, 35. Yeah, they are. 1935, registered 18th of May 1935. 4-speed box and a top speed of 65 miles per hour. Yeah, definitely great to see quite a few pre-war cars out and about. Here, a glorious Rolls-Royce saloon. Very swish. Rolls-Royce enthusiast club. Ford 100E with wider steel wheels alongside that. TVR Chimera moving over there. There are some cars going into the display arena. There we have Morgan with many badges, some really nice badges actually. The Morgan 44 Club, Cardiff Motorcycle and Car Club, the Morgan Sports Car Club, the Motorcycling Club, founded 1901, the Bugatti Owners Club. They run the Prescott Hill Climb, the Welsh Counties Car Club, and 75 years of Morgans. So quite the array of enamel badges on the front of this Malvern built Morgan. And here is that incredible Opel GT. Really swoopy little car, all of them left-hand drive. I'm not quite sure what the relevance is of this Venezuela badge on the front, so that may remain a mystery. There's a Mini on manoeuvres there.
Now you do know you've got like a 170 section later on the day.
It's like, and that looked great in our hall.
As we work our way down the field, the cars are getting slightly later. A couple of MGB roadsters here. Another Morris 8 Series 1. The Morris 8s are very well represented today. We've seen 4-door saloons, and this is a 2-door saloon. Mid-1930s, as with the other ones.
Yeah.
This is the MGA, quite a late one. Like I say, it's got the recessed grille. So that tells us that this was built fairly late in MGA production. And of course the MGB came along to replace that in 1962. There's the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 1. This is the Jaguar Mark 1, never sold as the Mark 1. It was either the 2.4 saloon or the 3.4. But when the Mark 2 came out, these were retrospectively known as the Mark 1. And you can see sort of the heritage and where the Mark II got its styling from. Very similar to this, but subtly different in many ways. These little side lights, you don't see those on the Mark II. Much thicker windscreen pillars on these as well. You've got a 59 tax disc in the window. Yes, so much thicker pillars, much less bright work down the side between the side windows compared to the later Mark II. Rear wheel spats, The full spats were never a thing on the Mark II. They had much slimmer spats, partially covering the rear wheels. But I do love these. Slightly smaller back window as well compared to the Mark II. Different backlights. So yeah, different in pretty much every way, but only subtly different. The Mark II was very much an evolution rather than revolution over the outgoing car, but I do like these. I do think they are very, very tasty indeed. This one's got lovely original plates on it as well. They Ace plates, they could be, or Blue Mel's, there we go. And there's the important name, just about see it up there. What a beauty that is. E-Type, Series 1, 2+2. 2+2 because 2 rows of seats, although the seats in the back are really only for very small people. And this is that wonderful Sunbeam Rapier that we caught coming in a little while back. Amazing looking cars, two-tone wonderful colour schemes on so many Roots Group cars of the 50s and into the 1960s. There's the little fins. The original registration tow bar as well, so you could put a nice little period caravan on the back. Got the tannoy in the background from the commentary. Here's the S4 Lotus Elan convertible.
I work on the trains and in the ticket office.
Yeah.
And
Meet people.
yeah, that's right.
And this alongside it is the Lancia Appia, tucked away under this small bonnet is a very compact little V4 engine. Super little car this is. So this is the Appia Saloon, very original car. Repaired, not restored. 1962 Lancia Appia Berliner, Italian for saloon. So this one was first registered in October 1962 in Siena. Original price equivalent of £700. Wow, what a great little car. Let's carry on along here. Triumph TR6 engine cooling, fuel injection, Lucas PI system on those. And here we have a very bonny little Fiat, the 500 Gamine, body by Vignali, Italian coach builder. Hope you can see that. Sun is very bright today. Audible warning device as standard. yeah, definitely a noddy car. Noddy, very famous child's TV character. And very appropriate registration number as well, 99 Nod for Noddy. Yeah, you can clearly see based on the 500 with these Fiat 500 rear lights, engine in the tail, Fiat 500 wheels. Quite a bonkers looking little car, I must admit. And over here, another one of the classic Triumph TRs, 1965. That'll be a TR4A. There's my youthful assistant, has just appeared in the background. He's probably finished filming already, while his dad has only just started. And here we have the Triumph Saloon, the big Mark I Saloon. It's a PI, 2.5 litre, straight 6, aftermarket wheels on it. They do suit it. Yeah, 2.5 PI with overdrive. So the perfect motorway cruiser for the new motorway age. Let's carry on down here. Triumph Vitesse on wider steel wheels. Like a bit of that. These are, I do like these early saloons, the big saloons. 2 litre and 2.5 versions were available. Angle box here. Looks to be in good nick. Super original Morris Minor 1000 Traveller.
Now, also, hang on, don't all go yet.
Les is in full flow in the arena. I can hear him on the tannoy. A few bits and bobs for sale, MG stuff. Don't think there's anything that Dad needs for his MGB. Right, we'll carry on down here. Lovely pale yellow example there. A Zephyr here. So that's the Mark III Ford Zephyr. We've got a Zodiac here. An interesting pair of Mark III saloons there, pretty groovy. Little MG 1100, so this was the sporty version of the ADO 16. So twin carburetors, transverse engine in these, hydroelastic suspension. One of my first journeys was in the back of one of those. Here's the TR4 with Surrey roof, absolutely immaculate example. Just look how clean that engine bay is. And a wonderful Bedford CA camper, MSK 246, looking pretty bonny. Very handy for an event like this. There goes the hot rod Ford Model Y.
What are your favourites?
And a super little two-tone Triumph Herald. I'm not sure, I haven't really picked the favourite yet.
Mark II, the 6.3 Merc, and the Castrol. Riley.
So those are your favourites. So the Lee Francis Woody is up there. This Herald's nice, I like this. Fairly early one with Herald.
Really mint Vitesse
Yeah.
all the way down there, similar
Well,
colours.
the early-ish Heralds had Herald across the front, then they went to Triumph. But the very early ones had a handle in the middle of the middle of the bonnet as well. Indeed, yes. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Or it could be a saloon. It's got the roof chopped off.
Right, TR4 heads off to the arena. We will have a look at this next row, headed by a two-door 1966 Morris Minor. Lovely example in maroon, very, very smart looking car, that one. I do like that. And alongside it we have the van. This is the one with the Morris badge and the Austin grille. So which one is it? It's got a Morris. Ooh, that's quite a fruity looking air intake trumpet on the SU carb. So it's got a Morris on the rocker cover, Austin grille. So interesting. Which one does it say on here? Can't quite see, just says British Motor Corporation. Yeah, neat little van. Yeah, the gutters can suffer a bit on these, I know that. The yellow TR6 is just driving past the Herald. It's a Herald 1200, I meant to say that before. Let's see, he's going into the arena. Lots of revolutions. Capri is departing. We are here about to have a sandwich. Rover 800 Coupe. Series 1 2+2 is departing. Over here is the immaculate Ford 1600E. It's in incredible condition with full-length roof. Lovely condition that, and there's that incredible looking rapier.
Going through to the car of the show is the fabulous
1965 Daimler V8 250 or the 2.5 litre depending on the year, because they did change the name at some point during the production of these. That's on a C plate, C suffix, that tells us registered 1965. Alongside that, a somewhat modified Mark II Jaguar. Wow, this one looks like it's been tweaked a bit, so same body shell basically as the Daimler, but this has the Daimler grille. This has the original Jag grille. Got some extra intakes there, looks to for maybe brake cooling. One either side. So I'm guessing a few mods. Got triple SU carbs on this as well. There's a lot of engine in there. It's a stunning car. Midland Automobile Club. Oh, Chelsea, what, look at this racy fuel filler as well. That's a belter, that is. It's got the S badge on the back. That is not off the S-Type, but off the XK150S, I believe.
It sounds perky than it should.
Yeah,
Like a C-Type head or something.
yeah, it's just lovely, isn't it? Manual overdrive. Beautiful car. Really is the shape of these. It's just a real treat. Let's have a quick look. 1966 South African shell. Well, what a beauty that is. Okay, we'll carry on down here. Land Rover. That's a Series 2A, 1964. This, I think, is actually a Porsche 912. There's a few cars for sale, but not this one. A few cars and parts for sale, but that's lovely. A split window V-dub here, complete with roof rack over the front part and nice case. Windbreak, perfect for escapades on the beach.
You were having Joe, are you? Okay.
Mini alongside that, Mark 1 Austin Mini Cooper S from 1965. Super little car. You can always tell a Mini Cooper if it drives past because it has these polished stainless steel surrounds around the doors, which didn't feature on the regular Minis of the era. Twin tanks on this one, on the Austin Cooper S. Yeah, little pocket rocket. Wonderful little car that is. And over here, the magnificent 6.3 litre Mercedes-Benz. What a great bit of kit that is. Yeah. That is tasty. As we're carrying along here past the Piper recreation there. A Triumph, another split window VW. I didn't see this one coming in before. Little doggies. Series 2A from 1966. Here's the Mark II Triumph GT6 with the bonnet up. And I do love the louvers. That was unique, I think, to the Mark II version of the GT6. Triple Webbers, a lot of engine in there. We like that kind of thing.
See how the mud flaps are built into the bonnet.
Yeah, it's a cool little car, very low. Yeah, super little car.
Yeah, I really like this.
Yeah, I like that. I love the shape of these. They're so vulnerable, these little lamps on the back, just like the early Spitfires. They're so easy to walk into those and knock them off. Lovely. Here is the Morris 1100 from 1964. So of course you could get, badge engineering was rife in the British Motor Corporation by this point in time. You could get Austin versions, Wolseley, MG, Van den Plas, and even Riley, the Riley Kestrel, digging up a name from the pre-war years. The little Mini Mark 1 Austin 7 Mini. The early Minis like this, the early Austin Minis were badged up as Austin 7s rather than Minis, just like the early A30s were also badged up as Austin 7s. So this one was built 5th of July 1961. And there goes the 120. Phenomenal car for a day like this, enjoying the Worcestershire sunshine. Bay window camper here. We will carry on now down to the next row, which is headed up by a 1965 Morris Minor Traveller. And next to the Morris we have this Volvo PV544 Sport. Just keep out of the way of someone's photograph. Right, twin carburetors on this one. Probably a B18, probably the 1800 engine I would have thought.
Oh, we got some fantastic vehicles in already. Come on.
Super looking car. I do like these. These drive really, really well. Coil sprung suspension all round. None of your leaf springs here. Proper quality, properly engineered car. Yeah. Very tunable car. That is very drivable. Great daily driver that would be, and maybe this would too. This incredible Mercedes van. What a belter that is. Wouldn't that be great with a few old motorbikes in the back done up as like a motorcycle transporter of the late 1960s. That's on an E-plate, so 1967. Little opening, reverse opening quarter lights. So that's quite a neat thing. Yeah. What a characterful old girl that is. We carry on our way along here. Another Morris 1100. It's a Welsh registered one. Blue Mel's number plates, 1967. The Bedford Dormobile, the Bedford CA from 1966. What a cracker that is. With the old camping club badge on the front there. So that's pretty groovy. Looks very original. Quite a late one, based on a Mark III Bedford CA. With the lift-up roof as well. One of the anniversary MGB GTs. Triumph Vitesse here from 1966. Like a bit of that. And the Jaguar S-Type of 1965 alongside that. So beautiful example in black. Very handsome machine. What a beauty that is. A little Wolseley Hornet alongside it. So the posh Mini. Herald convertible. Now I think this is a conversion of a saloon. I remember in the 1980s when I was a member of the Triumph Sports 6 Club, you'd see these advertised occasionally. I think it was a Tristan, I think was the name, conversion kit that was available. Because of course even on the Herald saloons and the Vitesse saloons you could unbolt the roof. So I think that is probably the case with this one. That rollover cage looks very similar to the Tristan conversions that were available some years ago now. So open top motor. Of course these have separate chassis, unlike the standard 10 and the Pennant that came before. The Herald reverted to separate chassis, which meant it was actually very easy for standard Triumph to make lots and lots of different variations of the Herald theme. So you had the Estates, you had the Courier van, the Vitesse, the 600 Vitesses, open cars, closed cars, a bit of everything really, all using the same basic chassis. The chassis was also used in slightly adapted form under the Triumph Spitfire and the GT6, the Bondi Keep, all these kind of cars. And on the end here we have a Ford Anglia Super, very very nice, the Anglia 123E. Okay, we have a Sierra Cosworth here. We'll just amble down here, we're getting closer to the arena. Series 3, I think, Land Rover Mini, Morris Minor 1000, a two-door Moggy 1000, quite a late example. Another Jaguar Mark II, beautiful one with a slightly cut away, I think, rear arches compared to the standard cars. You can clearly see how this was based on the Mark I that I was looking at just a little while back. Bigger windows in these, slightly different front end. Oh, a wonderful old scooter. What is this? This looks like a proper oily ragger. Lovely original paint. I like a bit of that. TWN. Why am I getting sort of East German vibes almost? The Contessa. What a groovy thing, whatever it is. Let's have a look at this information sheet on the floor down here. The TWN Contessa. Founded by two expat Germans in Coventry in 1897. An incredible machine. Here's a little Hillman Husky. The Daimler SP 250, or the Dart as it was unofficially known. Daimler was going to call it the Daimler Dart until Dodge had a word in their ear and said, "Oi, we've got the rights to the Dart name." So Daimler couldn't use the Dart name, so switched to the SP 250. Some of the early cars were a little bit flexible, like I say, fiberglass body. When Jaguar took them over, they re-engineered it somewhat just to sort of make it a little bit stronger, improve the rigidity of the body, make it less likely that the doors popped open while they were driving along. Here we have the Giugiaro designed Lotus Esprit, and there's that Di Tommaso Pantera
Look at the reg on this.
Yeah, I know, it's good that, isn't it?
There you go.
This is pretty wild. There goes the Lee Francis 14.
Model A.
We'll carry on down here. 911 Ford Escort Classic Range Rover here, made for many, many years. Rover 100.
How long have you owned it? About 9 months.
There's a Spridget here. Another.
It transforms the whole car.
eBay.
Really well.
Oh, you like that, don't you?
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's quite good. I like that sort of the plate on the grille. Always looks pretty groovy.
Like a Lotus.
Got another Jaguar S-Type alongside from 1965. That's a 3.8S. Lovely car. Jensen Interceptor. Steel-bodied Jensen Interceptor. This is an Interceptor 3. They went through a number of evolutions over the years. They also produced a few convertible versions. Another E-Type 2+2. Another Series 1 or Series 1.5 2+2 MGB Roadster. And on the end here, a Triumph TR4. Mercedes-Benz SL here. Mrs. OCC is a fan of these. It's the R107 and this incredible Citroen ID19. Saw this one coming in. A great looking car. I do love the front of these with the exposed headlights. It is a great looking car. I'm still pondering these vents set into the top of the wings on some of these cars. It was quite breezy over here. Glad I've got the cover on the microphone. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, what a great thing that is. Amazing. Complete with rear window blind as well. Yeah, what a great car. The single spoke wheel. A feature of Citroens for so long. Yeah, I was just looking at those. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Right, let's carry on our trawl. I'm now joined by the youthful assistant. I think we've got quite a few early cars in the arena at the moment. So let's go and have a look, see what's going on over here. Let's sneak in here and just have a quick look around the cars here in the arena. And here, there's that lovely Lee Francis. What a treat to see this. Probably the only Lee Francis that's here today, I would have thought. Les is busy interviewing some owners over the way. And here is that Ford Model A coupe. I do love the look of these. Long terms on the channel may remember the Ford Model AA truck that I had, which had very similar running gear to the Model A cars. Same engine under that bonnet. Very easy to work on. And just a great looking car. There's the Leaf. There's Les speaking to the owner of that incredible Lee Francis 14, just post-war that one, so we'll leave them to it. There's a 36 Morris 8. Here's the little Berkeley. The 2CV. There's Les. Hello Les, how are you?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again. Yeah.
Harley. Oh, yeah. I always know Harley, but it's your dad's name off again.
He'll tell you. And the Delahaye.
Yeah, I know.
The Austin 6 and an incredible Packard, which I think we saw this one here last year, and I remember being blown away by it. Probably a straight 8, I would have thought. And this is great. What a stunning car. Look at that wood effect. What a swish way of getting around. Looks like Harley's about to be interviewed by Les, the commentator. Harley's giving it the patter.
Well, I did have the...
There's that incredible Ford Model Y street rod. Very distinctive car, but this is a real belter, this wonderful American Packard, a real quality car. This was kind of your American Rolls-Royce of the era, and just amazing with these very distinctive painted radiator shells.
Your car traction on a bit more.
There we go, a quick plug for the channel on the tannoys, that's all good. And here's that amazing Della Hay. Minimal instrumentation in this machine. But yeah, great to see so many properly old cars here. Look at this incredible Austin York. Definitely one of the more upmarket cars in the Austin range of the 1930s. Pretty bonkers looking hot rod. I have to have a look at the engine in this one. The Oldsmobile Rockets, I think that is a post-war V8 engine. Minimal silencing, we like that kind of thing.
And the winner, this engine is going to be surprised because he has been in the arena a few times today.
There's that lovely.
Going through to the car of the show is the Packard 120.
Well, Packard is the best of this particular group, so he'll be coming through to Best in Show later on. He goes to collect his award, and he'll be back here in the arena later on today, hoping to win Best in Show. And it is certainly a stunning, stunning car.
It's a different next to the main building. Now the next section is the 60s.
These cars are departing the arena now, and I think the 1960s cars are set to come in here. So the 2CV awaits its turn, as does the Berkeley. The Morris 8 pulls out of the way, the 2CV engages reverse. The Della Hay slots in behind the Morris 8. The Berkeley spins around behind the 2CV. The four-wheel Berkeley. Yeah, it's quite a nippy little car. And there goes the air-cooled De Chevaux. And the first car coming in for the next section is that incredible Citroen ID19, floating across the ground. Incredible cars. And who remembers the Safari, the estate version of those as well? MG 1100 there, 1964.
Fabulous Citroen just coming in.
There's the Moggy Traveller parking up alongside the MG 1100, so two classic cars from the British Motor Corporation. And behind that, a 66 Moggy Saloon. And the 6.3 litre Merc is behind that.
Mercedes coming in at the back there. I think the Saloon is coming in.
That Mercedes is really spectacular. I was having a look at the 280 SEs a little while ago. That is, yeah, that's a 6.3 with a much bigger engine. There is a little Wolseley Hornet there. The Malvern Hills in the background, what a great backdrop. Silver Shadow 1. What else is coming in? That little Fiat Gamine as well. You can just see that over the end there. There's the Anglia 123E, the Anglia Super. So that was the posh, high-spec version of the 105E Anglia. Two-tone paint, strips down the side, all that kind of thing, just to differentiate it from the cheaper cars. And here we are. And there is that wonderful Citroen at the end there. And there's that incredible CA, the Dormobile camper, based on a Mark III Bedford CA. Let's just sneak up here and just get that coming in. Oh, what a great old Survivor that is. I do like that. Anything else going to come in? I can see a Mini, the Austin 7 Mini. There it is, the beautiful little restored Mini.
What's your runner-up and winner? If you were judging.
I don't know.
Another Mini's coming in, good.
Big slice of Americana pulling in.
north of Warwickshire. But it's well worth a visit. It's a great area. Monday.
The mighty Chrysler Newport.
Easter Monday. And people ask me about, well, how do I park, which is over Nottingham Way. It's near Worksop.
Right, let's carry on our walk around. There's that incredible Packard. Just keep out of someone's view, out of their photograph. Here is that incredible Caddy. That's what I wanted to have a look at, was this Cadillac. Wow, look at that. Two-door Coupe de Ville. Amazing cars.
Now,
incredible car.
The red MG. Is that you, sir?
4,200
1955.
I said to the
So pillarless styling.
Well, your name, sir? Martin. Have you had to
And the bonnet is up on the Chrysler Imperial. Lots of engine, but even more space. Grief. That's quite. Is that what it is? 8.3. Oh yeah, must be getting up there, mustn't it? Pretty mad. V8 Ford, 1939. Chevy truck. Yeah. T-Bird, the Ford Thunderbird, one of the later Ford Thunderbirds. We've got the Jaguar Enthusiast Club local group. Lots of modern ones, so I won't spend too long over here. Yeah, lots of newish ones. We've got a Series 2 there. Otherwise, mainly later models, so we'll skip those. Lots of minis over here, so let's have a quick amble along the minis. Of course, the minis have been around since 1959. These are later incarnations of the classic Mini formula. But it's great to see them. So many different cars, so many minis, but all different. Here we have the little Mini 95 pickup. Very bonny little machine. We'll carry on our way down here. This is a slightly later section, I'm guessing 1990s. We've got an Escort Mistral edition here. I vaguely remember those. There's the big Volvo 240. The Saab 99 GL with the turbo wheels on it. Good to see those two here, and then incredible Maestro van. It's great to see this one pulling in before. Series 1 Land Rover here, and a two-door Austin A35 being inspected by the youthful one. Yeah, they're quite low setting these, aren't they? 948 originally. I wonder if this is still 948. Yeah, very bonny car, that one.
There's that Vitesse that I've talked
What are you saying about?
Really nice Vitesse.
Oh, look at this big old Zodiac here. Mark IV Zodiac. What a monster, what a beast. Big car, so different to the Mark III, the finned Mark III that came along before. What an incredible machine. Rare survivor now, that one. Right, we are over here now. There is the Triumph Acclaim. The Cobra Rep over there, sounded fantastic that did. And this lovely Triumph Vitesse. That really is smart. Like I say, separate chassis on these, just like the Herald on which this was based. B-Reg 1964. 6-cylinder engine. Early cars were 1600cc, later they switched to the 2-litre version of that engine. This one is badged up as a Vitesse 6, as the early cars were, so that will have the 1600 version of the engine, styled by Michelotti in Italy, very airy. The Heralds were very popular driving school cars because they were so easy to see out of, to reverse park. You got the little fins there to help you park. Great turning circle on these as well. I think then they used to say it's better turning circle than a London taxi. So yeah, really good cars these were. TR here, the Z3 over there, a Spitfire Mark IV. You know, the Triumph Acclaim of the day. Right, we'll amble in this general direction past the Morgan. Great little XR2, the Mark 1 XR2. There's that XR3i based on the Mark V Escort. Series 1 Landy. And that incredible Austin. Is this a K2? I think it's a K2. It is a K2. Yep, so this has a big petrol engine in it. Bit of info. Top speed about 50, but average of 35. Great, really characterful. Just post-war, I think, this one. Yeah, great looking things. Who doesn't love an old lorry? I know I do. Especially when it has great original sign writing on it as well. We like a bit of that. Right, first registered July 1946. And as you can see, not in the greatest of condition. So this one's been fully restored, completed in June 2010. What a stunning vehicle. If you like your old lorries, please have a look around the rest of the channel when you're finished here, because there are plenty of videos about classic commercials on here now, with more planned for the channel very, very soon. But yeah, what a belter that is. Lovely old Austin K2, just post-war. We have an Audi for sale here, Porsche 924, Bentley Continentals, 2 of. There's a Conti GT convertible at the end there. Ooh, look at that Dodge. Now, I did see a Dodge coming in before. So this is very much a military Dodge. Of course, we've got a couple of wartime, well, one wartime Dodge at home, the big 3-ton truck, and the 47 pickup. And this too will have a side valve 6-cylinder engine under its bonnet. This about 1943 or 44, I would guess. Quite a chunky fella, maybe a bit rarer than the Jeeps. And pretty chunky tyres on there as well.
There's that Camaro SS.
The Camaro SS, just heading off down there. But yeah, wonderful smell, old oily smell from this great old wartime Dodge. Looks just perfect, not too shiny, just right. Probably an older restoration that's just mellowed in nicely now, and it's all the better for that. But yeah, that's great, isn't it? Do like that. Right, let's carry on back in the general direction of the classic cars. Yeah, this is where the later cars are assembled. Porsches, MGs, many MGTFs. There's a Jaguar here with the keys in the boot. Is that the key? No, it's just something hanging. Is that a number plate light or something? I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. So is this a 6? It's a Jaguar Sovereign. I think it's a 6, yes. It's got a slightly earlier dash compared to our V8. And it's got the rectangular lamps in the front bumper, the squared off edges of the lamps, which tells us this is the X300, the 6-cylinder car, as opposed to the slightly later V8. This one for sale for $7,950. Various MG Rovers here. Ford Puma, neat little cars. I like those. What else do we see? There's the Merc, the Porsches. I think we saw those driving in before. What else have we got? Yeah, Toyota Carina. I was trying to guess what this was, but I did guess. Then it's a Carina, the Mark II, Carina 2 XL Windsor. So that's the kind of car that people tend to flock to at this sort of event, because they remember these when they were around, and they are all but extinct now. So it's really cool to see this one here alongside the Toyota MR2 Mark II, Ford Ranger pickup truck. Who doesn't love an old pickup truck? An XJS convertible here. So this is a full convertible which came along after the XJSC, which was a sort of halfway house convertible, I guess, the previous model. MX-5, the big Volvo estate.
Now, as I say, it's in stunning condition. Tina, did you been involved
the R129 Merc SL. I think we saw this one coming in before. Yeah, we did. That's just, I can't remember which one the executive was. We've got some bits for sale in front of this Mini over here. Various pistons, shock absorbers, Coney shock absorbers. Yeah.
got to know very well before you used to run up
Instrument cluster, tiny little alternator there. The minis here. This is the Reliant Sabre, the Scimitar Sabre, which was the sort of the final evolution of what started out as the SS1. Volvo there, 205, the Alfa Romeo, a little Rover on the end here. Okay, let's have a quick amble down here. Ford Puma, and here is the Cabriolet Saab 900, 900i. So it's not a turbo, but this is fuel injected. In the back of my memory banks, I've never owned one of these, but were these actually built and converted in America on behalf of Saab? I've got a feeling they were built and converted in America, but I could be wrong, so let me know in the comments if I am. Good old.
Tone as the MX-5. Even though it's a Z3, it's exactly the same alarm fitting.
Is it?
Yeah. Wait, do you not recognise it?
Yeah, true. Merc 190 here. The BMW 8 Series. Now this is could be an 840i, which would have the 4-litre V8, or it could be the 850i, which has the 5-litre V12. This is the 850Ci. So yes, this has the V12 engine. It's got an auto box in this one. Yes, handsome thing. Did it, the Mercedes, so the big Merc won its class in the arena, I've just been advised.
Right then,
got an XK8 convertible here. Peugeot 205 GTI, it's a 1.9 litre car with slightly bigger wheels, and the bonnet is up on this 6-cylinder X300 Jaguar. Looks like the 60s vehicles are leaving the arena.
The Living Skies is its original number plate from Saskatchewan.
There's that incredible Mercedes, the little panel van. We'll just watch some of these coming out. Les is chatting to the owner of the Chrysler Newport there. The little van is just reversing up carefully. Let's just go and hide in the corner over here out of the way.
That's really good. How long ago? 4 months. So you know the history, yes? Well,
What a lovely little machine that is.
I'm going to carry
Do love that. Like I said before, don't forget to let me know in the comments which vehicles were your favourites here today. Maybe that super original Bedford CA camper over there. Maybe that will be in your top 3.
That's a lovely car.
Certainly the vehicles that people can relate to tend to be the most popular at any of the events that we get to.
If I did, the neighbours would complain.
I started learning to drive on a mini estate similar to that. Ours was on an E-plate before the A40 took over in late 1987. I took my test in the A40.
And the, whoops, steady, come on, keep coming.
It's a super little mini Woody, that one.
With the Bedford automobile.
1600E,
With a raised roof.
glistening in its metallic paint job on this very, very sunny day. We're very lucky with the weather. And here comes the CA.
Camper caravan.
The old Bedford Dormobile. Conversion by Martin Walter down in Kent, I believe.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we're watching back. Just hang on, you got one behind you.
There goes the mighty Newport.
Where you will be entertained by Jordan, show
With Morris 1000.
So the next
Hot on its tail. MG 1100.
Just on 1 o'clock, I guess. It's 1970 to 79.
Shadow 1.
1970 to 1979.
Built-in crew. Anglia reversing, TR4 reversing. Little Traveller, is that rose taupe, the colour of that one? Could be.
Mercedes 300 back for the car show later on this afternoon.
There's the little noddy car, the little Fiat 500 Gamine.
Ford Anglia 105E with the twin stripes down the side, the chrome stripes down the, those chrome mouldings down the side of that.
This Mercedes won its class.
So it's 1970 to 1979. That's the last section then before we close for lunch. During our lunch break, you should be entertained by Jordan.
And the cars of the 1970s are starting to roll in now, headed up by another wonderful Citroen, this one the DS.
1970 to 79. It can be a sports car, it can be a saloon, it can be a convertible, it can be a van, it can be anything. A little mini pickup. Hopefully that's coming in. 1970 to 1979. Hold that way just a bit, sir. That way just a bit more, bit more, bit more. That's it, that's it. Now come forward a bit. Lovely. The engine keep coming. The mini pickup, keep coming. Come straight, sir. As it comes straight, keep coming. 1970 to 1979. Now, we saw the people in earlier. The one with from 1970. So that's the Volvo, I think, just come in. A1500, is it?
Here's the little mini police van.
A police van coming in. And we've got a buggy coming in, a buggy bomb, a bomb buggy coming in. All from the 1970s.
There's the Vauxhall Cavalier Coupe. There's a Mini, slightly earlier registration. It's a 64 registration, so presumably a private plate, or maybe it had been reshelled, possibly with a later shell. And there's that immaculate XJ6 Series 2.
The judge has suggested that the police van that's coming in is not in here for demonstration.
Now, what colour is that? Is that sable, that shade of brown? Let me know in the comments if that is sable or not.
But on that basis, if they're taking me around, the Davis is coming in.
I hear Trabant. Yeah.
E-Type Jaguar again in yellow. NGP coming in. That little Trabant has just come back in again. Little bomb bug. Oh, they're lovely little cars, they are.
Classic Austin Maxi there. Have we seen any Allegros yet today? I don't think we have seen any Allegros or Princesses. Or indeed, have we seen any Morris Marinas? That's unusual.
Move over a bit this way. Left hand down.
Another wonderful Jensen Interceptor negotiating its way into the arena.
Jensen Interceptor. Many of them. It's coming up.
This is the 1990s onward section, which is where we often park up when we're here in the MX-5.
The minivan police car. I've got to go and talk to the owner. Is that you, sir?
It is indeed.
Is it genuine?
Looks exciting. And this is a rare beast. This is a Nissan 100 NX.
I have. If you look at the
Very
photos,
rare
today
sight now.
is actually its first show out.
It's Targa roof.
Yeah, so I was hoping I'd make it.
Where are you from?
Only the other side of Worcester.
Oh, that's all right then. Yeah. I mean, it's a stunning little vehicle, but
Great little Mini
Why
Cooper
police
with a 205 Rally
not?
alongside it. You don't see many of them
I always
around,
say that when
especially in
I
that
say
condition.
why.
In our favourite colour.
I've always fancied one.
VW Transporter, and over here, Morgan.
I'll see here and there. It's not been, as far as I know, to any shows in about over 10 years, or it certainly has.
Listen, can I ask you your name?
It's Adam.
Adam. Right, Adam, it's great to see you here today. Now, I suppose because it's an older one, because you've got the
Ooh, yellow MX-5 Mark 1.
hinges on the outside.
Yeah, we had ours here last
Goes
year.
back to the early 70s.
Alas, the MOT ran out 2 days ago, so I need to get it booked in.
Tended to have a lot of the features of the Mark 1. Like
Otherwise, we would have been down in it today, most likely.
Doesn't have the floor
And this is that Granada, the Granada GXL.
Standardise a lot of stuff, but I'm still
The great metallic green, vinyl roof, opening sliding steel sunroof. All the accessories that the 1970s executive motorist would demand. V6 power. And also metallic green, but a very different shade is this Saab 99, a 4-door Saab 99. And there's a rear view of the 99. Big heavy safety bumpers, just like Volvo. Front wheel drive though these. And this has got a 99 turbo steering wheel on it. The early 900 turbos also had that steering wheel on. Good cars, good quality cars, well made and very dependable. Right, we'll just have a bit of a mooch. Ah, now there's that Talbot Samba.
I've had this car for 12 years.
Occasionally you see convertible ones of these, but there aren't too many of the hatchback ones, the fixed roof ones still around. I like the old Talbot mud flaps as well. Pretty cool. The Simca Club UK. Some pretty groovy alloy wheels on this one as well. Harley's ogling the Metro Vanden Plas. Upmarket Metro. Metallic paint, automatic gearbox, extra strips down the side, and the little stripe down the side. You got these special Vanden Plas hubcaps, which is unique to these. Pretty familiar engine, the A+, transversely mounted, an evolution of the original A series, which came out in the early 50s. Yep, carburettor, SU carburettor.
I was going to say gentleman, but that would have been sexist.
Right, there is that Talbot Samba. So we'll have a quick mooch. We'll go down here, see what we can see. We did see some of these coming in. There's that MG Metro. Pretty rare sight, and this very sporty looking Spridget here. And the Fiesta gear, the Mark 1 Ford Fiesta. Two-tone colour scheme, alloy wheels, lamps, glass sunroof, all the mod cons, headrests, plush upholstered seating.
And I do use it. I use it even through the winter. Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's good to see.
Yeah, you don't see too many two-tone cars nowadays.
That are keeping our motoring heritage alive,
1.3
especially the British motoring
Fiesta
heritage,
gear.
which is very close to my heart.
Well, I do like these old style metal pressed plates as well.
Much indeed for being with us.
Very welcome, son.
I think Dad's Saab, which was on a W plate, had very similar plates to that.
Have you ever driven one of them?
Supplied by Bristol Street Motors.
They're a bit of fun. So I'm having a conversation with the judge. We're just walking past a bun bug.
It's a Rover
they are
P4
a
just
driving
heading down
experience,
there.
let's put it that way. But they are lovely little cars. And would you believe you sit in
Is
one,
it? Oh,
they
the
are quite
Fiesta is from
comfortable,
Spain.
oddly enough.
Got a Ford Granada 2.8 gear here. Something sounds pretty noisy.
I used to.
I think we have a bit of hot rod action.
Exactly out now, I think. But they are a fun car. And in the time back in when they were very, very popular. They used to be on, we could call them beach buggies. And all
Certainly hear that coming.
But nowadays, I'm not so sure because the
There we
stability
go.
of
The old acid etching of your number plate onto the windows for security purposes.
your name, sir.
In those days it was quite common to steal a car and put the plates, number plates, off another car on it, but it's less easy to replace all the glass. We've got an XR3i convertible there, Triumph TR. Now what's this?
I did a show with him.
It looks like a TR7 with V8 engine.
Yeah, they only built 2,200.
The factory did produce a number of TR8s. There's the Porsche 944.
Can you still get parts?
Mark 1 version of the VW Golf Driver. Good to see a non-GTI example. Here's the Mini 30 from 1989-ish. And this is that little Citroen Vita. And what the story is with this, I honestly do not know. The GT Tonic. Not quite sure what the story is with this, but if you can fill me in, let me know in the comments. Many carburetors. Mangaletzi. So we've got twin Webers on it. Mangaletzi. That's a tuning firm up near Knutsford. They've been going since the 1960s. Somewhere I've got a Mangaletzi inlet manifold for an A-series engine. And the company, I think, is still going. It's like I think it was an Alfa Romeo dealer last time I went past on the road between Knutsford and Holmes Chapel. It's pretty cool to see this Citroen here today, this Visa. I'd love to know more about it. Another S-Class Mercedes here in the late 70s, a 280S. So even though these were upmarket cars, the basic spec was not great. Look, it doesn't even have a passenger door mirror. That would have been an optional extra to have the passenger. Oh, there's a nice doggy. Hello. Let's carry on around here. But yeah, so that's a fairly base spec S-Class Mercedes. No headlamp wipers on these. Some of them did, but really beautifully made. Here is that twin cam powered Ford Escort Mark 1. Little Toyota MR2 Mark 1 Ford Escort van. The Cavalier convertible, and that incredibly rare Vauxhall Viceroy alongside it. Wow. There must be, I think, did the owner say there's about 10 known left still in the country, something like that. It's got some aftermarket headlamp protectors on it as well, these plastic covers. So that's quite neat, and there's some stripes down the side. Pretty common to see cars in the 1980s with stick-on stripes. Pop down to Halfords or Motorist Discount Centre and put a set of stripes on your car. There's that Sierra Estate, an immaculate Sierra Estate. There's the XJS convertible. Well, that is a real rarity. A laser limited edition version of the Ford Sierra Estate. Lineup of classic MGs here, something for Dad, he'll be happy to see these. Austin Healey Sprite, and an MG Midget alongside. Hello.
We're going to take a break.
There are a few gaps in the field here because there are cars still in the arena. So I'm sure I'll manage to get most of the cars featured in this video at some point or other. Four-door Cortina Mark II here, and on the end a rubber bumper MGB GT V8. Talking of MGB GT V8, here is another car, this with the chrome bumpers, bonnet raised, showing off the Rover engine here, originally a Buick design in America. Fits in there, a treat. It looks like it was made for it. Nice. It has been suggested that we need to go and have the second of the two sandwiches, so we'll go past this V8 3500S, the bay window camper here. We'll carry on down here, green MGB GT. The yellow MX-5 is departing, so that one's off to enjoy the sunshine. The Mini, and that super little Austin stroke Morris Minor van on the end here in the livery of Wakefield Castrol Classic Motor Oils. I have to say, I love the effort that's gone into this recreated livery. Just looks perfect. 2-stroke cycle motor oil only. And while I ogle this great little van, out goes the XK140 fixed head coupe. There are several cars departing already. Wartburg manoeuvres.
The man just pulled away, didn't recognise him.
Quite a few cars are leaving already at lunchtime. Off goes the Lotus Elan. There's a lot of engine on this Triumph motorcycle over here. The water-cooled Honda here of the late 1970s. It's always worth having a second mooch around. I'm looking again at this Riley 1.5, and I never realised that the split windscreen on these, the driver's side would open. But it would appear that the passenger side is fixed. I never realised that. This is a good opportunity to have a quick look around at the immaculate interior of this Riley RM. Dad's a big fan of these, having owned a couple of them in the 1960s. Yeah, beautiful car, but yeah, I never realised that the driver's side only could be opened. Very cool. Looks like the Jeeps are off as well. And off goes the wartime Dodge. And it's been converted to diesel power, this one. No longer does it have the straight 6 side-valve engine in this one. Yeah, I think the Jeeps are readying to leave. Maybe they're in convoy with the Dodge down there. More early departures.
There's a little bit.
It's interesting to compare this Mark II Bedford CA based camper van with the Dormobile that we saw before. The Dormobile had the lift up roof. That was based on a slightly later Mark III CA with the taller windscreen. This has the shallower one-piece screen of the Mark II, but it has this one, has this fixed roof arrangement, which is pretty groovy. Now, what's this badge on the front? This is the Home Cruiser conversion by Colthorpe. There we go. I don't know if that'll come out on the camera, but yeah, the Colthorpe Home Cruiser conversion. Yeah, very cool, very neat. I do like that fixed roof arrangement. Yeah. Who doesn't love a classic camper van? That is pretty nice. That is pretty tasty. Right, what do we have here? And here well, there are one or two gaps on the field now. Some cars have already left, which is pretty surprising given that it's the lunch break. So if you're coming to one of these shows as a spectator, I highly recommend you get here early doors to make sure you see everything that actually is here during the day. Here goes that super rare Nissan 100 NX. Very rare survivor now. And the Citroen Visa. There goes the Newport.
Someday I may ask you, friend, we were halfway there when some of our shows around
Nice bonnet.
Come on, let's go.
types of vans, pickup trucks, some of the vehicles that are pickup trucks, anything like that that can be used commercial. Let's have you heading towards the arena.
I almost missed this one over here, the mighty Wartburg. Wow.
Any more automobiles out there? Anything that you can.
So this one is from 1990, 1.3 litre engine in that one. Well, they're usually two-stroke, aren't they? But is this one a regular? So this one's been upgraded by the factory to, yeah, sold with a more conventional four-stroke engine. Let's have a look here. Produced in Eisenach just after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Yeah, it's got a 1.3 litre VW engine in this one. What a rarity that is.
Have we got the little mini pickup? Right. Can I have you over this side of the arena, the mini pickup trucks?
There's a couple of classic British bikes over here. Nearly missed these as well. James. Very bonny little lightweight motorcycle. Hughes Wakefield Castrol XL. Very bonny, bit of a trials vibe, scrambler vibe going on with that one. And a little Triumph alongside that. There we go, 1954 Triumph Tiger Terrier 150cc. A modest assortment of purchases from the youthful assistant today. Nice number plate there from late 67 or 1968. That'll be going up on one of his sheds, I imagine. Bit of a bargain for £3 whole. Nice metal plate. For one of his bicycles, we have a Hercules bicycle pump. I'm not sure if you can see that. Nice thing. He was after a nice old pump to go on one of his bikes, I forget which, so that's a good buy for him. And another Chemico valve seat grinding paste tin. That should look pretty good in there, the shed as well. So yeah, just a few of his purchases for today. I think he bought some old stickers as well. I managed to not buy anything at all. Not sure what's going on there, but well, never mind. Well folks, we have had a quick dash around the autojumble. I think we have done most of the show. There's definitely quite a few gaps there now, so I think we will start heading northwards and head home. So thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to let me know in the comments which cars you would most like to have in your garage at home. Got a Merc here with hardtop and the E34 5 Series. And I'll include links to some similar videos at the end of this one, so please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. There'll be loads more videos along very, very soon. So bye for now.
Right. We got a first and a second, both Ford Fiesta. Second place is going to the Ford Fiesta, both from 1983 as well. Ford Fiesta SCA